Bonjour, mes amis. I'm Bernadette the Demon Fairy Snail. Welcome back. In today's episode, I will be talking about some comics that I read the month of May 2018. Okay. The scoring system I use is very simple. Either I say, pull it, which means it's good and you should buy it, or I say, slime it, which means it's bad and you should not pick it up. It's up to you. Okay? Let's get started. Doomsday Clock, issue number 5 of 12. From DC Comics, the long-awaited and long-delayed chapter in the awesome Doomsday Clock maxi series. Was it worth the 3-month wait? Of course it was. Firstly, I adore Ozymandias' kitten named Bubastis. It was hilarious seeing that homophobic slug, Vladimir Putin, appearing in the comic and leading the Russian metahumans. Reminded me of the Mark Millar days of the Ultimates in the early 2000s. Johnny Thunder's heartbreaking journey leads to the return of the Starheart, the source of power that the Golden Age Green Lantern used. What else happened? Oh, things continue to get bad because of the Superman theory. The Superman theory basically states that the reason why 97% of superheroes are American is because the American government has secretly, in response to Superman's first appearance, have been hiring military personnel and staging all the accidents that lead to the creation of metahumans. What confuses me is how some characters act out of character. Specifically, Killer Frost lying about getting her powers from the government, as well as her clothes looking different, and her hair, and how she talked badly about Firestorm. That's not how Caitlin Frost acted. That's nothing like the heroic Killer Frost, who was a member of the Justice League of America. Wait, what's that? My bad. So, Caitlin Frost is still a hero. The Killer Frost that Axel mean. The Killer Frost that talks badly and supports the Superman theory is actually some other lady named Dr. Lois Lincoln. So that's why. Okie dokie. And speaking of the Justice League, Lex Luthor gave Lois Lane some useful information about whoever set in motion the Superman theory, suggesting that any of the characters from the miniseries Justice League No Justice could have been responsible for starting the theory. I wonder who's the traitor. I hope it is not Martian Manhunter. What I liked most about this issue was how Ozymandias schooled Batman on everything wrong with the DC Universe and superhero books in general. For example, Ozymandias spoke about how inefficient the good versus evil narrative is, and how it is nothing but a distraction that does nothing to make the world a better place. Lastly, it seems that the second half of this maxi series is going to be featuring a war. This is because Black Adam is inviting metahumans to Kahndaq, his home country. And seems like he might be assembling an army. No, 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 no. You never trust Black Adam. One of the things I dislike about this was seeing Superman's horrible red trunks. I mean, his rebirth suit was perfect. Why do you have to go back to that ridiculous, outdated look? Ugh. Overall, this book had a substantially cinematic narrative and great realistic artwork. This book is a must-read. I also like a quote that they said at the very end, that when men make gods, there is no God. Anyway, my final verdict? Pull it. Amazing Spider-Man issue 800 from Marvel Comics. It's a shame that this monumental anniversary issue was such a chore. Yeah, Norman Osborn, the Red Goblin, put a lot of people in danger, and Spider-Man, as usual, saved the day. One character died, but honestly, it didn't convince me. It just came off melodramatic and cheesy. Just you wait. Flash will come back to life in the next 18 months or less. Dan Slott, as usual, troll readers. We were hoping for the horrible One More Day story to be undone, and for Peter and MJ to be back together, but nope. So disappointing. I'm going to check out next issue, which is going to be Dan Slott's finale. Just in case. But I'm not going to let my hopes up. So, final verdict, slime it. And slime you, Dan Slott. You are despicable. You're like Bendis. You ruin everything. It's a shame you're going to be the writer of Fantastic Four. I was really looking forward to that book, but not anymore. Saga issue 52 from Image Comics. This book reinforces its theme of there not being heroes nor villains. Just shades of grey, like real people. This is because the characters that we usually would consider villains, in this issue they acted rather differently. I&D, the creepy lady with the mole face, shows a rare compassionate side towards one of the children. And the Will confronted the killer of his girlfriend's stalk and held the killer at his mercy. And it seemed that he was going to be killing that person until that person made an offer that the Will could not refuse. Which really sucks because that character is going to end up betraying the heroes. Marco's wife was right. That character is a very bad person. As for the rest of the cast, kudos to Marco for the genius idea of using mushrooms as signal flares. That was awesome. And creative. The plot thickens and alliances are broken. This was a creative and entertaining read. Not surprised, considering the writer is Brian K. Vaughan, who had the second best run in Ultimate X-Men 12 years ago. I really like his run. So, final verdict, pull it. X-Men Blue, issue 28, from Marvel Comics. Emma Frost and pretty much most of the villains kind of forgot that they were villains and turned against Miss Sinister, the main villain, and they ended up saving the day. Amy Hudson of the Ultimate Universe was at the center of the Motherbind incident that was turning humans and mutants into super mutants. And Magneto also acted like a hero. But I don't trust him. I still don't trust him. I haven't trusted him since the first issue. Oh, and remember how Havoc has been a villain for a couple of years now? Well, this issue made him a good guy again. So, it's an okay book, nothing too impressive. Not bad. Final verdict, pull it. Even though Archie number 21 doesn't come out until next week, I still wanted to talk about it because I won't be reading that book anymore. Even though I've been enjoying reading Archie for 3 years, it pains me to have to call for a boycott because of what Mark Waid did. Mark Waid's horrible actions against Antarctic Press are unforgivable. So, until Mark Waid leaves Archie, I will no longer be buying it. Hopefully Mark Waid leaves soon. Thank you. And thank you for watching. Hopefully you check out my comic book recommendations. And let me know what you thought of them, even of the slime books. I welcome different opinions. And I would like to hear if you disagree with me or agree with me in the comments below. See you next time. Ama.